Good morning, my dear professor and my dear friends. My name is Dhruv, and today I am going to represent about diagnosing performance problems in individuals, groups, or an organizations. So this is my today's theory based presentation topic. So why it is needed to diagnose the performance problems in individuals, group, or organizations. So a leader has to know that his followers have the capability or the ability to perform the work which is assigned to them or not. So are they lack with the ability, or yeah, this is very difficult issue according to me to manage the individuals or team that are not performing up to expectations. And what makes this issue even more difficult is that the lack of performance. So here I'm going to tell you the four main uh, functions which are related to find the performance of an individual or an organization or the group. So this is the overview. As I said, to manage an individual or groups who is not performing up to the expectations, that's the main reason why we need to diagnose the performance of that actual individual or a group. Here, leaders do not pay attention to this problem at the beginning. So that's the main problem here. A leader would think that his followers are able to do the work on whatever is assigned to them. But not all the time that follower is able to uh, deliver up to the expectation of his leader. So yeah, that's the problem of a leader. Then here I have given one equation to find the performance, which is the function of expectations, capabilities, opportunities, and motivation. We can see that this is the multiplication between all these four categories, and it would give the overall performance of any leader. I'm sorry, the follower. So as I said that this function is a multiplicative rather than the compensatory model, and yeah, because it's a multiplicative rather than the compensatory model. Yes, so I will explain each and every category such as expectation, capabilities, opportunities, and motivation one by one in my next slides. So next is expectation. Here, the lack of understanding about the duties plays the main role in expectations. So I will talk about that in more detail. Performance problems often occurs because the individuals or group do not understand that what they are supposed to do, what they are assigned. So that's so the expectations comes here. The talented or skilled group sometimes do something wrong in overconfidence or some miscommunication. So these miscommunication issues could occur, which lead to expectations problems. And to to make sure that this kind of problems does not happen, we have the leader should direct his followers properly so that they can work uh, according to the expectation of their leader. The next is capabilities. In this, just because the followers understand what they are supposed to do does not necessarily mean that they can do it. Sometimes the follower and the team lack the capabilities needed to achieve a goal or perform the expectations. So abilities and skills are needed to achieve a goal or yeah, and ability is really another name for the raw talent and includes such individual variables as athleticism, intelligence, creativity, and so on. So the ability cannot be improved by tracking. That means the one is able to do something or not, that only that cannot be taught to that person. It is the by-born gift. So the lack of skills to perform at high level. So sometimes a person is able to start the work at the beginning level. So we can think that he or she can be able to work if the task gets harder, but at that time, due to some lack of skills or whatever some problem, he or she cannot perform in some harder tasks. So that comes to capability issues. Now opportunities. What kind of opportunities can help to find the performance of the individual? The performance can also be limited when followers lack the resources which are needed to perform the job. Yeah, so sometimes the shortage of resources. If we need to perform the project, we perform some task, but there are lack of resources due to some reason, then how can somebody work on that? Sometimes the lack of opportunities, such as the followers may lack the opportunities to demonstrate the acquired skills. They have skills, but they cannot get opportunity to show their skills to somebody. So for that, leaders should make sure about the availability of needed things such as equipment, financial aid, resources, and so on. And the last is motivation. In motivation, many performance problems can be attributed to the lack of motivation, which which are not motivated at all. The critical issue here is whether the followers or the groups choose to perform the exhibit level of effort necessary to complete a task. So if this doesn't occur, the leader should first try to learn why people are not motivated. Sometimes leaders does not praise them all for their small works or for their achievements. So according to me, to get it out of this problem, the leader has to select the followers who have the high level of inner motivation, who doesn't need anyone's praise to perform better. Then a leader should set a clear destination, a clear goal to the followers so that they can work accordingly. Then they should reallocate the work according to the skills, the importance of the task, and some other features to that particular follower. And sometimes, when it's necessary for their good work, a leader should provide some rewards, as well as if the work is not being done according to up to the expectation of the leader, then the punishment should be given to those followers. So overall, I conclude here that the integrated framework is provided by this diagnosing performance of the problems, and we can identify how to rectify problems facing during the performance diagnosis. And the last one is only followers, groups, or organizational performance is addressed there. As I earlier at the beginning of the presentation, I mentioned already that only an individual, group, or an organization can be diagnosed with this model. So, yes, these are the references you can find in the e-text which is provided in our subject. And if you guys have any questions, you can mail me on my email address. And thank you very much.